Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I'm your host Boise, and this is NXT Review. Now this is a slightly different NXT than we usually get for the week because this was taped during NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. So with that in mind, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell to keep up to date with all our videos here at Smack Talk. With that said, let's hit the music. So on this week's episode of NXT, we only got two matches, and the first match we got was Bianca Belair versus Purrazzo. Purrazzo is a current Mae Young competitor, while Bianca Belair got her break at last year's Mae Young Classic. How was it? I thought this was a very decent match, mainly because of two reasons. Purrazzo is still learning the ways of WWE wrestling, and two, Bianca Belair has just recently returned from injury. So it was two kind of like matches where they were trying to see how both women cope. For me, I thought they both did really well. Bianca Belair looked really strong. You can tell she's still a bit sluggish, but you can tell that will fade in some time. Purrazzo pulled off some fantastic moves, and I really want to see her more in the NXT Women's Division once the Mae Young Classic is finished. I think she's a great signing for WWE, and she has the talent to be one of the top women wrestlers on that brand. There's a lot of great wrestlers who did emerge from the last year's Mae Young Classic, and I think this year we even have even better talent emerging from it. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. Bianca Belair did get the victory, and she looked very, very dominant throughout the whole match, to be honest with you. She is going to be an NXT Women's Champion at some point. She just feels like she is already on track to do that. So with that in mind, because it was kind of like a match for both women to really get, to get back into the swing of wrestling, aka Purrazzo getting used to WWE's way, and Bianca Belair just getting back into ring shape, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Now during all this episode of NXT, we got a lot of backstage interviews which happened after NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4, and there wasn't that it was just pretty much after match review interviews with Velveteen Dream, EC3, and Ricochet. Now the Ricochet one was the most interesting. Undisputed Era came at him saying, "You're not anything special." It looked like they were about to attack him, and Pete Dunne comes out, warns him off, and Ricochet says, "Thanks, mate," and he goes, "I'm not your mate." But I just hate those guys. Really good. We're going to see Ricochet and Pete Dunne teaming up to take on Undisputed Era, which could be a fantastic match because Adam Cole is somehow going to get involved. But very excited. It was a very good little backstage segment, and you can tell WWE are really working Undisputed Era into different markets of the NXT universe. So I cannot wait to see where this leads on. Pete Dunne, just awesome as usual. And this moves us on to our main event of the night, because like I said, we only got two matches for the whole night, and it was for the United Kingdom Championship, and it was Pete Dunne versus Zack Gibson. Pretty much a rematch from the United Kingdom tournament from this year. How did I find it? It was really good. The NXT universe really got behind both men, and they really showed what they are capable of doing. They did have a poster up for NXT UK in the background, which just looks so cool on its own, and both men will be mainstays for that brand. You can tell. Obviously you can tell Pete Dunne and Mustache Mountain will most likely get called up sooner rather than later to the main roster, but NXT UK will definitely be using them to use as groundwork, champions for the foreseeable future of NXT UK. But my God, Zack Gibson and Pete Dunne just stole the show for this. I think they had a brilliant match, and I was surprised how good the match really was. And secondly, I was so surprised it was that good. I was like, hold on, they had a fantastic match at the UK tournament, they had a fantastic match on this. Why was this match not given to the NXT universe on TakeOver Brooklyn 4? It was like, it's a tournament, it's a title match as well. I know there's no build up to it, which all the other matches had, but it was such a good match, it just felt brilliant. Both men give it all. Zack Gibson being a brilliant heel. I like what he brings into it. He looks like a psychopath. He looks like a scout psychopath, which is great. Pete Dunne, not babyface, but not heel between, which was great. Looked like he was about to lose. He got his mouth guard kicked out of his face, which was awesome. Gibson's about to throw it into the crowd. Pete Dunne grabs him. Wishbones, his fingers, it still looks agonizing. Great selling on that. I mean, just power drives him through, gets the victory. Pete Dunne is still United Kingdom Championship champion. Brilliant result, good match. Now, there is one thing I want to say. Now, a lot of people go, oh, well, Pete Dunne never defends the title. Well, actually, he does. If you actually look at independent shows he's on, he does defend the title on most Progress and stuff like that. He does defend the title. It's just because it's not on TV, it's not recognised as a proper defence. But over here in the UK, he does defend the title quite often. It's just because it's not on NXT. That's why they had to bring the NXT UK tapings over to Birmingham, because he is going to have to defend it. Another thing is, we kind of knew the result beforehand, because WWE NXT was announcing that Pete Dunne will be defending his title at Birmingham this next couple of weeks for tapings. Again, kind of spoils the whole match. But we already know NXT is pre-taped, but sometimes you're just kind of like, I just wish we got to, some of this wasn't always advertised beforehand. But apart from that, fantastic match, really did well. NXT Brooklyn were brilliant, the crowd were fantastic with this match as well. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10, worth watching. And there you go, guys, that was NXT for this week. Very, very short episodes. For it, or mainly because it was highlighting NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4, but I felt that the two matches which were involved did what they needed to do, and they were really good matches. Both very different, both had different purposes, but really highlighted how good NXT can be, even on a short little episode like this. So altogether, I'm going to give this episode a 7 out of 10. But yeah, what did you guys think of this week's episode of NXT? Leave it in the comments below. And if you do like our videos, please like, subscribe, and press the bell to keep up to date. If you want to follow the channel on Twitter, you can do. It's Smack Talk YouTube. That's you and Tube. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do. It's Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.